It's 1991 at the 63rd Academy Awards, a night to celebrate the art of filmmaking. But ironically, it's two icons of music, Madonna and Michael Jackson, who were demanding the world's attention as they arrived to the event hand in hand. When you have music stars couple up, it becomes headline news. But when it's Madonna and Michael Jackson, and their first date is the red carpet at the Oscars, it becomes the stuff of legends. The evening igniting what would become a bizarre whirlwind romance and an ultimately unfruitful music collaboration. But what went wrong? I mean, how did this even begin in the first place? Make sure you keep watching to get the full detail. But first, if you're interested in understanding the man, the music, and the magic behind Michael Jackson, we are your dedicated channel. So hit subscribe and that bell notification to keep up to speed with everything Michael Jackson, with 2 new videos every week. Also, support our channel by checking out the detail store for our original MJ-inspired styles. Prior to the Oscars, Madonna and Michael Jackson's only other interaction was in 1984 when she went to see Jackson's victory tour at New York's Madison Square Garden. At this time, Jackson's career was shattering records and reaching groundbreaking new heights. Madonna was early in her career, and with only a handful of hits to her name, enlisted Freddie DeMann as her manager, solely because he also managed Michael Jackson, whom Madonna deemed the most successful person in the music industry. That same year, Madonna expresses her admiration for Jackson on the Australian music series Countdown, where she's asked how she feels about being called the female Michael Jackson.
They describe you as the new the female Michael Jackson. Have you read that?
No, I haven't read that.
Well, they have said that.
I've heard some other comparisons, but that's nice. That's flattering.
She continues to embrace her comparison to Jackson by paying homage during her Virgin tour in 1985, incorporating Jackson's Billie Jean into her performance of Like a Virgin, and in doing so, highlighting their similar bass lines. By 1991, Madonna's stardom had become comparable to Jackson's, as she was catapulted into the stratosphere upon the release of each multi-platinum selling record and heavily rotated dance music videos. Jackson, riding high since the release of Bad, was attempting to strike music magic again while recording his latest creation, Dangerous. In an attempt to breathe new life into his sound, as well as cash in on the undeniable press exposure a collaboration the two pop icons would result in, Jackson reaches out to Madonna's management and a date night was arranged, as well as studio time where they were to collaborate. As Madonna recounted, "He wanted to get to know me, and I wanted to do the same. When you write with somebody, it's a weird experience. You feel vulnerable and shy." So, in a publicity-seeking move, Madonna and Jackson dined together at Los Angeles hotspot, the Ivy, where the restaurant's employees spent the whole night warding off paparazzi. As chaos ensued outside, the following week's Academy Awards popped up in conversation. Madonna was invited to perform the nominated hit Sooner or Later from the Dick Tracy soundtrack. And having recently broken up with actor Warren Beatty, she found herself without a date.
And Michael was like, well, who are you going to go with? And I looked at him, I said, I don't know, you want to go? And he said, yeah, that'd be great.
That infamous night, she channeled Marilyn Monroe, slipping into a glittering Bob Mackie creation and dripping in $20 million worth of Harry Winston diamonds, finishing both with a fur shawl, white opera gloves, and white satin shoes. Meanwhile, Jackson pulled a classic MJ look. A sequined blazer, a stunning brooch in lieu of a bow tie, an extravagant gold belt casually slung at the hips, and shiny embossed pants. After the ceremony, the two kept the night going, showing up together at Spago's for the Oscars after party. Madonna is said to have spent most of her time canoodling with Warren Beatty, leaving Michael alone to be gawked at by the other guests before being rescued by an old friend, Diana Ross, before Madonna returned and joined him for a strobe-flashing grand exit.
And then, yes, he took me home. And now what do you want to know? What happened after that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you.
Although speculated at the time, Madonna in recent years admitted to making the first move.
Did you kiss?
Of course.
No.
Of course.
So who makes the first move? You or Michael Jackson? Who leans in?
Well, I did, if you want to know the truth, because he's a little bit shy.
Yeah.
However, he was a willing accomplice. I did get him to sort of loosen up with a glass of Chardonnay.
But did their love affair only extend to one kiss? A family friend, Flo Anthony, said Jackson told him that Madonna spent the night at Neverland and that Madonna told him if they were going to start dating, she insisted she wasn't going to Disneyland, his favorite place. I guess that's a deal breaker right there. So it might not have worked out for the two stars romantically, but what about the studio time and a possible music collaboration? By late 1991, rumors abounded that the two stars were planning a much-anticipated duet. Jackson already had a song in mind that he penned with a provocative title, In the Closet. In short, Madonna contributed some lyrics and suggested they make a video where they both would appear in drag, but Michael rejected her ideas as too provocative, and as a result, Madonna told him she was not interested in recording a silly love song and backed out of the project. After the song's release in 1992, Madonna spoke about the collaboration during a Jonathan Ross interview.
He said that he wanted to call the song In the Closet. So I said, you want to call the song In the Closet? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, do you know what that implies? And he said, yeah. And he sort of giggled a little bit. And so he said, yeah. So I started writing words and getting ideas and stuff. And I presented them to him, and he didn't like them. And I think that I think all he wanted was a provocative title, and ultimately he didn't want the content of the song to be sort of live up to the title.
Jackson instead recorded In the Closet with Princess Stephanie of Monaco, whose vocals were initially mistaken for Madonna's, and the video was filmed by one of Madonna's favorite photographers, Herb Ritz, but it was a much tamer affair than Madonna had originally envisioned. But that wasn't it for the two pop culture icons, as their short-lived romance got ugly. In April 1991, Madonna tells The Advocate that she'd like to completely redo Jackson's image. I want to get him out of those Buckley boots and stuff, she said, stating that she tried to get Jackson to cut his long hair before appearing together at the Oscars. She also wanted Jackson to spend time with the House of Extravaganza, a queer New York ball group that helped to inspire her 1990 hit, Vogue. As a family friend, Flo Anthony stated the reason their relationship didn't stick was because Madonna did an interview on TV saying she'd like him to get a new look and she wanted to get him out of those buckles. He was livid that she criticized him on TV. He was mad as hell. Jackson speaks of Madonna in 1991's unauthorized biography, Michael Jackson, The Magic and the Madness. Let's face it, she can't sing and she's just an okay dancer. What does she do best? She knows how to market herself. That's it. In a taped recording with Shmuley Boteach, Jackson's spiritual advisor, Jackson reportedly stated he thought Madonna was jealous of his success. He also recounted a story when Madonna waved away a young fan who approached the two of them while they were dining. We were at the table eating, and some little kid came up saying, "Oh my God, Michael Jackson and Madonna." And she goes, "Get out of here, leave us alone." I said, "Don't you ever talk to children like this?" She said, "Shut up." I said, "You shut up." Then we went out again and went to the Academy Awards, and she is not a nice person. In a USA Today article, Sister to Sister owner Jamie Foster Brown describes a later occasion when Jackson and Madonna came into contact again during a birthday party at a restaurant. Madonna came up and snatched his glasses off his face and threw them across the room, breaking them. "Tonight, you're gonna be normal like the rest of us," she shouted. In a 1994 interview with the Los Angeles Times, Madonna spoke out about Jackson. "I felt like a peasant next to him, like this big, clumsy farm girl. Like, when I'm hungry, I eat. When I feel like saying something, I say it. And he has these manners, and he's just so careful about what he eats and what he says. It's something about being in control." She later went on to say, "It's never too late to start being a human being. I'm just talking about being happy in your private life. Just being able to go to a basketball game or for a bike ride and hanging out with your friends without your makeup on. You know what I mean? I don't think he does that." As the years passed by, Michael Jackson came in multiple personal and professional setbacks, and occasionally, Madonna would offer support in her own way, as she did in a 2003 Q magazine interview, slamming Martin Bashir's Living with Michael Jackson documentaries.
Sounds horrifying. I wouldn't want to watch it.
Horrifying in what way?
Oh, it just sounds so exploitive. So, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like people humiliating other people like that.
It doesn't seem right and fair.
After his death in 2009, Madonna seemed to have gained a new perspective on the artist.
We went out a few more times together, and then for one reason or another, we fell out of touch. Then, the witch hunt began. And it seemed like one negative story after the other was coming out about Michael. I felt his pain. I know what it's like to walk down the street and feel like the whole world is turned against you.
Barely a week after his death, she paid homage to the King of Pop on her Sticky and Sweet tour by performing a medley of Billie Jean and Wanna Be Startin' Something, much like she did all those years ago at the beginning of her career. Regardless of how it went down, Madonna seems to empathize with the artist more than ever, still holding his memory close to her heart, Instagramming a throwback photo of them and captioning it, "Best date ever," and more recently defending Jackson after new allegations were made against him in the Leaving Neverland documentary. I don't have a lynch mob mentality, so in my mind, people are innocent until proven guilty. I've had 1,000 accusations hurled at me that are not true, so my attitude when people tell me things about people is, can you prove it? Tune into one of our latest videos right here, and also check out our online store for our latest pop icon inspired styles. Thanks for watching The Detail. We'll see you next time.